Peace family, so I'm back with another one. So today what I wanted to do was I wanted to talk to my chosen ones about your environment will feed you thoughts. It will sow seeds into your spirit realm. You know what I'm saying? So what made me dive into this subject a little bit more today was just always trying to figure out tactics to kind of what helped me in my inner space to be able to fight these battles a little bit more, and you know, just tactics to help, you know, the ones around me and everybody else, you know, just different tactics as far as, you know, ways to protect yourself and defend yourself. You know what I'm saying? But the system understood how important it was to create certain environments for us as humans, as just entities inhabiting this earthly realm. You know what I'm saying? Like, every species adapts to its environment. So when they create these different settings and scenarios, like we got the hoods, the projects, you know, we got the trailer parks, you got, you know, all these different sections and sectors that they set up that are extremely negative and low vibration. They don't have to be that way, but this is how they're structured, which feeds the thoughts, which feeds the beings around them, which why you see people that's bulked in these areas kind of all have the same concept. And if you go out to other places, maybe you go out to the suburbs or somewhere, you'll see that most of them kind of have the same inhabitants. They all kind of, you know, conform to the same structure. But I was looking at the squirrels that's out in my neighborhood, and I realized, like, the squirrels are following nature's laws as much as they possibly can. But due to man building all kind of shit in their space, they have to adapt to the environment. And most of these squirrels, because I got a handful of my back, front yard, whichever way you want to call it, the way my shit is set up, it's just weird like that. Alright, but I realized after time, like, I started feeding them, because I always would see them out there. It was like a family of like 2 or 3 that like lived up like in like this, like it's like a crawl space they found, and they would always pop out, and I would just put food out there for them, you know, just different like fruits and things that I had out there. But I realized, like, because our shit is processed, they're willing to eat the processed shit to survive. They adapted to their habitats. Now they go through as much as they possibly can. So like, if I throw some grapes out there and they're like way too GMO, they'll pick it up, look at it, smell it, do its thing, and they'll keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? They'll come back to it absolutely last, like the end of the night, when it's like, oh man, I know my peoples ain't putting nothing else out there for me. But it also made me think of us as humans as well too. Like, our environment feeds us thoughts. So you gotta think about it. Like, if you in these, say you in the hood or a project, or you know, one of the low vibrational areas they set up that we all kind of follow the construct in there. The environment itself, the structure, is feeding you thoughts. Seeing the trash everywhere is feeding you thoughts, the uncleanliness, you know what I'm saying? Just seeing different spirits and entities walking around just looking super zombified or not knowing themselves, you know what I'm saying, is feeding you thoughts. You can go see the cookouts and go to the parks and see the kids playing in different things. That's feeding you thoughts. You know what I'm saying? You have all these different concepts that's feeding you thoughts. You know what I'm saying? Having the liquor stores constantly always around all the buildings and everything like that is feeding you thoughts. So we have to remember that, like, our being and our environment plays a huge factor on how we process the 3D realm around us. So with us understanding that the outside is feeding us thoughts, then we understand that we have to double down on our protection. You know what I'm saying? And we got to push a lot harder as far as like making sure we got the right things going to keep us in the right space properly. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you I got my thought process thrown because I got a group of people that just start right beside me talking. Let me retract my thought process and pull it back together. Alright, so like I was saying, they had a whole time before they even got right here to see me with the damn camera and right here doing my thing. They gotta get as close as they possibly can get to realize, oh shit, he looked like he's filming. But back to what I was saying as far as protecting yourself, like if you understand that the outside realm is feeding you thoughts, then you understand that some thoughts aren't always going to be yours, and when it's coming to you, you have to do a better job at bobbing and weaving. You know what I'm saying? That's why they always say it's good to surround yourself with like minds or positive people or people vibrating on a much higher frequency, because what you create an environment of being around more positive than negative, then the positive charge is going to outweigh the negative charge. So the more thoughts you're getting fed positive, it's going to counter almost every single negative thought that you're having. You're going to have a really hard time trying to stay negative in a room full of positive people. It's going to be really hard because that's how the universe is set up. It's positive and negative, you know what I'm saying? It's constantly flowing one way or another, you know what I'm saying? And I understood that when I realized I was talking about people playing the fence. And I was doing more research. It ain't no playing the fence with the universe because the energy is always flowing. So if you're not flowing and feeding all your positive thoughts and your positive influences, then you're going to be feeding into your negative ones. The universe is constantly flowing, the energy is constantly flowing, so there really is no stagnant time. You can look at the water and see that it's constantly flowing. You know what I'm saying? So it took me a while to understand those things, and I think when I really start realizing is when I would be driving down like my main road out my way, which is 29, but it got all the shopping centers and everything off of there, and I would sometimes see McDonald's when I was in the process of quitting all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? I had my time when I used to binge and do all that stuff, but I had to let that go a long time ago. And in the process of learning that and doing that, it's like you see it everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's everywhere you go. You see a big M, a big M, a big M, a big M everywhere. So it was like, for me, riding down the road, I had to tell myself to stop looking, or I would just push past the thought. I would just be like, oh, that's some bullshit. I would have to connect something else to the big M, or you can say the upside down 3, whichever way you want to put it. You know what I'm saying? I had to flip it and add another feeling or energy, emotion to it. So for me, my memory works the way it sets best for me when I can attach a feeling to my experience. We go through a lot of shit, so everything don't always have a feeling or an emotion attached to it. But if I can organically attach an emotion to it, it's going to help me remember. Or if I'm in the process of, because I'm so sharp, I'm creating a feeling so that way I can make sure I remember this experience more detailed. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to stop growing in the sentence, so it's just like we got to be aware of what's going on around us. That's why we say it's a constant battle, it's a constant war when you leave in the house, because you have all these different advertisements and sponsorships, and then your own living environment. It can even be in your household, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't just have to be your neighbors and, you know, whether you're in the suburbs or the projects. It could be your household. You could be in the suburbs with a household that's extremely low vibration. You know what I'm saying? So now, every time you go home, you like, damn, I don't really want to be here. Your energy starts getting pulled down Because I know that shit used to happen to me all the time, but I used to just figure out different ways to wiggle my energy around so I didn't have to deal with it. My mom had the same schedule, so I was always able to clock her time and maneuver around accordingly. So my process was come up with a solution. Don't sit and ponder on the negative, because that's just pulling you back to low vibrational shit. You have to come up with a solution. Come up with a solution that's going to pull you out of that space a lot faster. Understand that your environment plays a huge factor on feeding you thoughts, which is making you determine how hard and how much pressure you got to apply on the battle that's happening within you and outside of you and around you. You know what I'm saying? These is like, it's so many tactics and things out here that's going on all at one time. And if you don't know how to process it properly, you're going to get distracted. When you get distracted, that's basically going to start pulling you away from your purpose or what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I'm saying? I just wanted to drop something down there for y'all, tapping everything down below as always. Y'all know what time it is. Peace and love to the kings and queens.